The return of COVID and the tragic fact that right now in this country, virtually none of the illness, isolation, suffering, and dying should be happening at all, period.
There is a clear message that is coming through. This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Unvaccinated Americans are not protected against serious illness, hospitalization, and death. And we're seeing it in the data. Unvaccinated Americans account for virtually all recent COVID-19 hospitalizations and deaths.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated. Right now, new cases are rising for the week in all 50 states, up by 50% or more in 38 states, down in none, 0. Where just 2 weeks ago, new cases were averaging about 13,500 a day, they're now topping 30,000. In some areas in the country, the reports are troubling. A top official in the University of Arkansas medical system reporting hospitals there are, quote, full right now and cases are doubling every 10 days. In Florida, average daily hospitalizations have more than quadrupled in the last 2 weeks. According to a recent CNN analysis of data from Johns Hopkins University and the CDC, it states that states that have fully vaccinated more than half their residents reported nearly 3 times fewer COVID cases than states that have vaccinated fewer than half. As for mortality, early analysis suggests that as many as 99.5% of all deaths in the first 6 months of this year have been in unvaccinated patients. Right now, thanks to the efforts of 2 presidents, one Republican, one Democrat, people now have easy access, often without an appointment, to 3 highly effective vaccines. Yet vaccinations, as you know, have been tapering off. The reasons are manyfold, but a good deal of it is driven by online misinformation, which the administration today pledged to combat, and those suspicions are being stoked by right-wing media. Even about something as innocuous and frankly helpful as the White House is sending volunteers door to door, not to vaccinate or force vaccinations on anyone, but simply to raise awareness.
I feel like a vaccination in a weird way is just generally kind of going against nature.
Now they're starting to talk about going door to door to be able to take vaccines to the people. They could then go door to door, take your guns. They again go door to door, take your Bible.
Hello to door to door vaccine pushers.
I honestly think this is the greatest scandal of my lifetime by far.
It's almost this apartheid style open air hostage situation. Like, oh, you can have your freedom back if you get the jab.
Going door to door, this is creepy stuff.
If there is some disease out there, maybe there's just an ebb and flow to life where something's supposed to wipe out a certain amount of people.
I don't know who that guy is, but consider the depravity of that last statement. More than 250,000 lost American lives just this year. Does that guy really believe they were all meant to die? They were just supposed to be wiped out because of the ebb and flow of life? Would he volunteer, perhaps, in the COVID ward of his local hospital, unvaccinated, to help ease the suffering of a single one of those people? Do any of these people truly think that with the dangerous new variant spreading across the country, the effort to vaccinate as many people as possible is actually just a fig leaf for taking people's guns or their Bibles away? Maybe it's simply not wanting to see Americans die needlessly. Maybe it's not wanting the unvaccinated to spread the virus to our children who are too small to be vaccinated. Back in January, when President Biden took office and launched a campaign to get people vaccinated, more than 4,400 Americans were dying every single day. That's the entire death toll of Vietnam War every 2 weeks. Now, today, the average is 389. It's obviously much, much less. And that's a remarkable achievement. But it could be almost zero. It doesn't have to be 389 people dying a day. It could be almost zero, and that is a tragedy all its own.